Alright, welcome back to the channel. We got part 2 going on. What we're going to be looking at for part 2 is multiple piles of x's, and that is going to lead us to GCF. You see on this question that we have x's and more x's, but they do not combine because there's x squared and 1x. And so we cannot combine them, but we need to do something, and we're going to end up using factoring. We're going to get x times x minus 3 equals 0. Now we already went over this. When we have factors equal to 0, that is very important, okay? You are only allowed to use factor rules when you are equal to 0. That's especially going to come up in part 3. We'll talk about it more. Because we're equal to 0, it allows us to split these up one at a time. Because if the first one is 0, who cares about the second one? If the second one is 0, who cares about the first one? Our two answers, x equals 0 and x equals 3. Over here, everything on one side, please. 5x squared minus 25x equals 0. GCF. This time I can take out a 5 as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set these equal to 0. X equals 0 by dividing, x equals 5 by addition. There's my two answers. So we're going to be doing a very similar process down here with trig questions. I noticed that I have cosine, tangent, minus square root 3 cosine. And you might be thinking to yourself, wait a second, we got sines and cosines cosines and tangents. Maybe that's even harder going on at the same time. Mr. Collier, what am I supposed to do? I'm getting so scared. Here's what we're going to do. Let's introduce a little highlighter action. Got a cosine here. Ooh. That does not work very well with this light. A little too shiny, I guess. I don't know. Well, never again. Maybe we'll try a different highlighter on the next question. I got a few on staff here. Because these both have cosines, we're going to do a GCF, and we're going to take out a cosine theta. I'm now going to set cosine theta equal to 0 and tangent minus square root 3 equal to 0. I'm going to add square root 3. Tangent equals square root 3. We know square root 3 is at the top. Square root 3 over 3 is at the bottom. So this is going to be in degrees 60. And I did not square root both sides, right? I did not square root both sides. So I don't have a plus or minus thing going on. It just wants the positives. 240. That's it. These two answers. Over here, I guess I need theta equals. Cosine equals to 0. I can think about the cosine graph. I can think about my unit circle. I can think about whatever I want. It's going to be theta equals 90 and theta equals 270. So probably what you're noticing is that a typical sine theta or whatever, we're going to expect most of the time two answers. As soon as we get sine squared, it means instead of two answers, we're going to pretty much expect four answers. Now, there are case scenarios where we might only get two, we might get maybe three, there's different, but 90% of the time when we're dealing with sine squared, we're going to expect four answers. Down here we have sine squared and another sine. I need everything on one side. GCF. Don't forget this minus 1, right? You're not a little baby freshman anymore. You got to get that every time. Sine x equals 0. 2 sine x minus 1 equals 0. Where is sine equal to 0? Maybe I think about my unit circle. Maybe I think about my graphs. That would be at 0, at 180, and at 360. Then I'm going to add 1 and divide by 2. Sine x equals 1/2. That would be at 30. I only want the positive values, 150. And hopefully you caught my mistake. We don't want 360, okay? We are not including 360. We have a parentheses instead of a bracket, so 360 doesn't count. There's my 4 answers, 0, 180, 30, 150. Let's go down here. It says use your calculator to solve. So let's see what that means. Let's try this highlighter. Works a little bit better, right? We have cosines on both terms, so GCF, cosine theta, tangent theta minus 5 equals 0. Cosine theta equals 0. Where is cosine equal to 0? We literally did that right up here. Theta is equal to 90. I don't want that. 270. I don't want it to look like divide, so my bad. Then we also have tangent theta minus 5 equals 0. I'm starting to recognize why they said use a calculator. When is tangent theta is equal to 5? I don't know. I'm not scared because tangent goes down forever and tangent goes up forever. It has a range of all real numbers. Genius brought the calculator home today. Second, let's make sure we're in degrees here. Mode, degrees, second, second please. Second tangent of 5. And I'm going to round that to 79. And I want where it is positive, that would be in the third quadrant. That would be answer plus 180, answer plus 180, 258 point whatever, so I'll do 259. There's my 4 answers. Let's see if we have it back to this paper. Oh my God, it's a miracle. We're done. GCF, okay, if you have 2 piles of x's and not a third pile, because we have 0, 0, 0, 0, it's just GCF. I will be 100% honest with you, okay? These are the hardest questions. And the reason they are the hardest questions is because they are so easy, okay? You will always get the section 1 questions right every time. And most likely, when you do the section 3 questions, you will focus. And you will get those right because you will focus. And these parts, these questions, when you get here, when you see something like this, it's not going to click in your brain as fast. And so, I'm telling you, you can handle it. You can learn this. All right, that's part 2 down. Only one part to go.